From the banks of the Allegheny, welcome to Film Bits. Hello everyone, we are rolling along. Half an hour into this film, we're actually right about the 37th minute, and we're going to do another 5 or 6 today. We just got done with the reflection of Ed Tom, mirroring the reflection of Anton Chigurh, and now we're going to cut and head into a new section, and so let's not beat around the bush. Here we see Llewellyn Moss coming from that, looks like a bus station. Notice the quick edit. Boom, boom. Just move it along.
Tell me the option.
Do what now?
You pick.
It's another one of those great Coen characters in a tiny, tiny, tiny part.
I'm just one person, so it don't matter. Size
Shrug. Again, cut. We're moving. We're just moving through some quick details here. That was the car he was going to get, and it's a voicemail checking on his shotgun wound. Now we get to learn quite a bit about Moss here. Not only was he good at tracking, not only was he good at figuring some stuff out, he's got a problem, $2 million bucks, and he needs to stash it. Notice all these, again, a lot of quick cuts. Good amount of close-ups in here as well. Keeping the action tight and personal. Of course, we are in a hotel or a motel room, but there could be a chance or decision for wides if necessary. That's our first kind of medium shot, and there we go. Voila, storage place for $2 million bucks, give or take a few hundred. Not too shabby. So we see Moss is a pretty creative guy, pretty inventive thinker off the top of his head. Got it pushed all the way back into the ventilation system, and he's good to go. Now, when Moss leaves, he's going to do something important, which is right here. Close those curtains. That's key for a little bit later on. Cut to Anton Chigurh, the back of him. It's a great way to start a scene.
You expect him?
Now why would I expect him? Who is this?
And now we see the prop of the phone bill.
Yeah, you got a pair of Larry Mann's shoulder size.
We also see Chigurh's detective skills there.
Just white.
Well, that's all I wear. Bathroom?
Moss's foot all banged up from that incident with the pit bull. And again, just cut. Now we're at nighttime. Moss is in his taxi going back to his room. And so far this scene has just been a lot of plot. Now we're going to pick it up and add some notes here. First thing we see, boy, that pickup truck with the light bar up top looks familiar.
Drive me around.
And Moss notices it too. And this is the payoff for the closed curtains when Moss left.
I don't want to get into some kind of a jackpot here, buddy.
It's all right.
As we go by his room,
Why not just set you down right here and we won't argue about it?
they are slightly open.
Take me to another motel.
Let's just call it square.
Look, you're already in a jackpot, and I'm trying to get you out of it. But take me to another motel.
So somehow the Mexicans found him and are waiting for him in his room. And then the stoic, gum-chewing Chigurh making his way to Del Rio, which is where Moss is. close-up there of that tracker. Getting no pings on it. This is the only shot in the film I cannot explain. Okay, let me pause here. Remember, everything that makes a screen in a good film has purpose, all right? So what just occurred? Chigurh shot at a crow and missed. Did he miss intentionally? Because we are going to find out that this man knows how to shoot a gun with scary accuracy later. How do you miss, if you're that accurate, how do you miss that crow at approximately 10 feet? Does this have to do with some of these ideas of fate and chance that we've seen introduced in the movie? I just don't know. I've got a couple ideas, but that's the one shot that always bothers me. Firstly, why is it here? Because why it's here is going to tell me what's important about it. It says something about Chigurh. It says something about, I think, how he is not, as good as he is, he's not perfect. And that's about where I get to, maybe a little bit further. Anyway, let's pick it back up.
A lab report from Austin on that boy by the highway.
What was the bullet?
There wasn't no bullet.
Wasn't no bullet.
Yes, sir. There wasn't none.
Well, Wendell, with all due respect, that don't make a lot of sense.
No, sir.
You said entry wound.
Okay, so they're talking about the old man that Chigurh killed with that pressurized hose. And there's no bullet. Of course, we know there's no bullet because Chigurh didn't use a gun. This baffles Ed Tom. Like, how can this guy have a hole in the front of his head and there be no bullet whatsoever?
No way.
All right, there's nothing,
Yes, sir.
no expended shell in the man's head.
Yes, sir. I don't
And then Ed Tom comes up with the first theory of how this could be right here at breakfast.
Rangers in the DEA are headed back out to the scene this morning.
Okay, this is an important bit. Other law enforcement agencies are going back out to the scene. Wendell seems like he wants to go back out to the scene. Ed Tom says, any bodies accumulate? No. Well, I guess I can skip it. So even though it's in his jurisdiction and he was the first law enforcement officer on the scene, did the first investigation of the scene, he doesn't want to go back out there. Hold on to that. That becomes important as we go along. And that's where we're going to end, at that push away. Ed is just disgusted and frustrated. Remember when we go back to the original, the voiceover, and Ed talks about not understanding crime today and not wanting to risk himself for something he did not understand. Well, he doesn't understand how there can be a bullet hole, seemingly, but no bullet. All right. It's going to just start gathering speed and momentum, baby. Love this film. We are now 42, almost 43 minutes in, not quite the halfway mark. I hope you keep riding right along with me. Until the next one, take care, y'all.